Hello, boys.
Hi, Rod.
Hey, what's going on, good people?
Is it going to rain?
What's that?
Is it going to rain?
No,
Okay.
looking okay. It got a little dark earlier, and there are some darker clouds around, but I think we'll be okay. That means it's going to pour for the next 7 hours.
All right, I'm gonna go live.
All right. First press conference from Game 8 will feature the Florida State Seminoles. We'll be joined by student athletes Kaylee Mudge and Danny Morgan, and then head coach Lonnie Alameda will join us following that. At any point prior to the start of the press conference, you can certainly raise your hand, and then once selected, unmute yourself. Our first press conference for Game 8 will feature the Florida State Seminoles. We'll be joined by student athletes Kaylee Mudge and Danny Morgan, and followed by head Alameda. You can certainly raise your hand at this point to get in the queue, and then unmute yourself once called upon.
Do you want this one?
No.
This is Game 8 press conference featuring the Florida State Seminoles, joined by student athletes Kaylee Mudge and Danny Morgan. Questions for our student athletes, please. Danny, obviously, probably one of the highlights of your career, the gigantic home run. Take me through that at bat and kind of all the feels for that moment.
Yeah, I made sure I took my deep breath, tried not to let the moment get bigger than what it was, and just go in there with the pass the bat mentality and try to get my swing off for the team.
Kaylee, what was it like, in the dugout following that home run for you guys?
It was definitely a crazy environment. We were all screaming, jumping around, hugging each other. It was really tough to not go out to home plate, but we were all waiting at the front of the dugout right for Danny when she came in. So,
Ronald Smith?
Yeah, this is Ronald E. Smith. I just want to talk about after the home run in the next inning, they scored to tie the game. So what was, for both of you, what was the momentum and the atmosphere for you guys in the dugout going into the next inning? Was it high, low? How'd you keep yourselves focused through it?
Start with Kaylee, please.
I knew that I was coming up in the bottom of the seventh inning, so I was just trying to get something started for my team. We were pretty pumped to have the bottom of the seventh to try and score that walk-off run, so I was just trying to pass the bat for my team.
Danny?
Yeah, like Mudge said, just it was a pretty fun atmosphere. Everyone was pumped, but definitely going into the top of the seventh, just reminding ourselves that Arizona's a good team and that we need to come out and do what we know how to do and just stay focused and stay one pitch at a time.
Barry Trammell?
Yeah, for both of you players, this is 2 games now you've got in the new stadium with the upper deck. What's the atmosphere like with more of a huge stadium feel? Is it change anything about the atmosphere of the game for the players?
Let's start with Danny, please.
Playing with fans is great, especially when so much of the year we didn't really get to have a huge atmosphere due to COVID. So just coming here and getting to play in front of a full crowd is exciting, and the atmosphere is fun, and our fans definitely bring the energy.
Yeah, it's definitely fun being on this field. I've dreamed of being here since I was probably 5 years old, so it's really cool to take in the moment when you're standing on the field and looking out to the crowd. And our fans have been so great to us so far. But, yeah, I just feel like having all those fans there, 100% capacity, is super cool for us. So we appreciate all the fans that come out and support softball.
Eric Lopez?
For Danny, you were part of that 2018 run from that loser's bracket, coming from behind, and there's a lot of your former teammates in the stands that were a part of that. Just talk about that experience and how that's helping you into this run here as you make a run again, once again, out of the loser's bracket.
Yeah, I think, we've been here before. We know what it takes to come out of the loser's bracket and win the whole thing. So sharing that experience with the young ones and being the leaders to get us there is something that us upperclassmen that have been here before are trying to do.
Graham Hayes?
As for Kaylee, when you took third on the errant throw in the bottom of the seventh, was that just you visually reading the throw going into the outfield, or did you hear anybody yelling, go, 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 or anything like that?
I pop-up slid into second, and I didn't expect her to throw it to second, but I slid anyways, and then as soon as I saw the ball go off her glove, I just went for it. So it was just kind of a spur-of-the-moment read.
Any more questions for our student athletes? Ronald Smith?
My question is for both athletes. Now that you're moving on to the next game, after this kind of game, how do you keep yourselves now centered after this? Because this also could be so draining after a battle like that.
Start with Kaylee, please.
Yeah, I think right now we're just focusing one pitch at a time. We're not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves. So we always say the most important game is the next one. So we're just going to focus on working to play OSU and play one pitch at a time. And whatever happens, we know that we're going to give our all. So,
Danny?
This break's important. We have a few hours off, and just making sure we get back to the hotel, rest, and get locked in for the next game.
All right. Question for Brian? Go ahead, Brian. Apparently, Brian is a silent type. All right, congratulations, Kaylee. Congratulations, Danny. Well done. And we appreciate your time very much, and we'll see you later tonight.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Joined by head coach Lonnie Alameda. Coach, I got to be honest with you. I was sitting there in the 6th inning, and I'm thinking I'm going to ask Coach about, it just seemed like you were one clutch hit away from getting back in and winning some games. That changed in a hurry.
Yeah.
What is about this team that you guys just kept fighting and grinding?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we talk about fight. That's kind of been our whole season is, situational hitting and passing the bat and usually trying to really live our core value of being smart and being able to make adjustments later in the ball game. And some of our players talked this morning before we left for the yard and talked about, staying in it, staying in the fight because we can make adjustments and do things later in the ball game. And Danny did that for us today. It was pretty awesome.
Barry Trammell?
Yeah, Lonnie, you go back at OU, you go back to Reeves Park at home field. You've seen this stadium and this atmosphere change year to year. What do you think of it this year? You've played 2 games with the new upper deck and bigger crowds. How's the atmosphere different now than even, say, when you won the title 3 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that are different. I tell you, at Reeves Park, we got kicked off by the club team, so we didn't ever finish practice, So, like, how much softball's changed in the state of Oklahoma, it's just pretty awesome. But, yeah, I think, for a lot of collegiate softball players, to have that stadium feel all the way around, there's not many stadiums that have people behind you, in front of you, sides, and upper deck. So it is pretty awesome to be able to see that and be able to take it all in. And I also think it says a lot for our sport and how much it's growing and how many people are supporting just the game of softball. There's people here just to watch softball. And before it was, fans of teams. And now it's a place, a destination this time of year where people go to watch the game of softball. And that's really special for our sport.
Eric Lopez?
Coach, Danny Morgan comes through again, that championship pedigree with a lot of their former teammates in the stands coming out of the losers bracket. You're the only team since 2018 that's come from behind in Women's College World Series. Speak to what she and the senior leadership that's been here before leading you the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Danny's always been a scrappy style of player. I mean, she's just gritty and, she's always in it. She always raises to the fight and gets after it. So it's just fun when you have players like that have been in games and won games. They know what it takes, so that they're going to give their all at any time. And I think for me, just super happy and proud of her. I think every senior in this program wants to leave this place better than they found it. It's something they talk about, and that's why we have all those former players sitting up in the stands right now because they feel a part of this team. They gave blood, sweat, and tears to put Florida State on the map, to have Florida State here. And so they're supporting the players that they influence while they're here, and our seniors are trying to do the same for our freshmen. So just a really gritty effort on her part. I thought Kat Sandercock did great today too, and just having some very mature pitches for a sophomore. But when they're led by seniors that have so much passion, it's pretty easy for the younger ones to follow that.
Ronald Smith?
This is Ronald E. Smith. Coach, I want to follow up what you talked about Catherine and how her performance was. Even when the run came in the 7th, she didn't break. And that's something that was key so that your team could come at bat and get their chance. How proud of you of her for that performance she did today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think as a coach, this time of year, you're not coaching. It's everything you've poured into them, and then you start to see it come out. And so ACC series, we put Kat in to close the game, and it didn't happen. And we got to have a real good talk about leadership. So not only your ability to pitch, but your leadership and going through your routine to be present for the moment. So we have a couple errors behind her, and she stayed present. Her head didn't go down. Like the couple plays to Josie, she turned around, she eyed her up, she talked to her. Like the maturity I'm just so proud of her because we've had some long talks earlier in the season for it to show up in these moments. And I think as a coach, when you see that in this time of the season, it makes you really proud. But she's very proud of herself. She has earned that, and that goes into confidence in who you are. And I'm just excited for her, career to continue. Hopefully here as much as possibly can.
Joey Helmer.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, you kind of addressed it, the maturity and the veteran presence that you guys have. How much did you address after this first loss, the fact that you can possibly replicate the path that you made 3 years ago to come back and win the whole thing?
I don't think we really talked about winning a national championship. I think we talk about winning pitches. I think when we got home the other night, there's so many kids pressing right now because they want to do so well. So can you get out of your own head and just relax and be pitch by pitch? And it's so easy to say the mantras and so easy to speak it, but can we actually do it? And then can you do it, eyeing each other up, and you can see that closeness, starting to work together. So you see Danny looking at Mason and Cass looking at, Mudge and Mudge, I've got you, I'm going to get to third. And that synergy starts to happen. I think that's really special. So it's pitch by pitch. And if you can keep putting a lot of those pitches together and you stay in the fight and you keep throwing some W's, then maybe they're on Monday. But right now it's about Oklahoma State and first pitch to last pitch.
Paul.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion. There's been a lot of speculation, and we'll find out now or soon or within the next few days if Mike Candrea is going to retire. And in your opinion, what does he mean to the sport of college softball, and what impact has he had on your coaching career in any way?
Yeah, I think he's impacted every college coach, whether they know him or they don't. He's taken this game to a whole nother level, not only collegiately, but internationally. And, what he's done for Arizona, state of Arizona, the PAC, college softball and international softball is, brought such an awareness to play a high-level game. I know when I was at Stanford many years, he was the one that we were trying to beat all the time, and it was beat on the field, beating recruiting, beating everything. And he's just such a class act. He's always there as a phone call. I was an assistant at Stanford. I could talk to him at any point. Now a coach across the country, I could call him at any time and talk about anything. And he's willing to share anything and everything. And so I think he's exactly who we all want to be. I think he's who we want to be in the game and then off the field too. So class act. Loved the opportunity to play them this year. They came to our place. We were able to play them there, and it's just fun to compete against them. Their kids don't quit. They play the game hard, and he's truly impacted the game at so many different levels.
All right, last one for Coach Andrea Adelson.
Lonnie, do you hope that because you were able to get things going offensively in the last 2 innings, that'll carry on some momentum now headed into the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you are who you are. When you get here, you're not going to find anything different. What I hope is we can continue to scratch and claw and play some defense and do the things that we've been doing. And when we get our chances, we take advantage of them. I don't want to come back to the park and try to be something different, And if the first inning ends up being a 5 spot, it's a 5 spot. But, you don't ask your team to be anything different than we've been all season. And, I'm just excited we get another game to play. And I'm excited that these kids get to go out and do the things that they love to do. And so, just smile, appreciate the moments, and just lay it on the field.
Coach Alameda, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
See you later tonight.
Thank you. All right.
Our next press conference will feature the Arizona Wildcats. We'll be joined by Irena Karanko and Malia Martinez, and then head coach Mike Candrea. You can certainly ask or raise your hand now to go into the queue, and then unmute yourself when selected. This is the Game 8 press conference featuring the Arizona Wildcats, joined by student athletes Ana Caranco and Malia Martinez. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Paul. Ronald Smith.
This is Ronald E. Smith. Just for you both, just a tremendous season for what you and your team has been through. So just to take back the moment of what you guys have been through, to sum it up, how will you look back at this whole year after everything that happened last year when there was no season?
Start with Raina, please.
I'm so grateful to be here. Sorry. I'm just grateful to be here with my team.
Malia?
Yeah, I'm so incredibly proud of what we've done. We've faced so much adversity in this last year, and we came out with the goal of getting Coach back to the World Series, and that's what we did. And so I'm incredibly proud of us, and I love these girls so much, and I'm just thankful.
Brian?
So Raina, can you take me through that double that you had that tied the game, and what that says about your senior class? That they had that home run, you guys fell down, and you rallied right back and responded.
Yeah, I knew we could pick up our pitcher, and we wouldn't go down without a fight. And I think that just describes our senior class. We like to be the bulk of this team, and I think we just knew we weren't going to go down without a fight, and we're going to do everything that we could.
Paul, we'll try that again.
Congratulations once again on great careers. And two quick questions. Number one, please, just talk about as a whole the impact Coach Candrea has had on your career. And secondly, have you guys heard much speculation? And if Coach Candrea does end up retiring, what will it mean for you to have been able to play on his last team?
Start with Malia, please.
I feel like I'm forever indebted to Coach because he really has had such an impact on my life and has really built me into the person I am, both on and off the field. He's always there for me, and I just love that man so much, and I owe him everything. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to play for him. And so I don't know.
Raina?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful to play for him, that he gave me the opportunity, and yeah, he's like a second dad to most of our team, and all of our team. He's like father figure to all of us, so we're just so grateful because we know he'll be here throughout the rest of our lives. We can be able to count on him, and we're just so grateful to be able to have him as such a big part of our lives.
PJ Brown?
What did it feel like for both of you to have that contingent of your sisters who have played before you and some with you, like Kati, and they were there and they were with you every step of the way, every pitch, cheering you on?
Start with Raina, please.
Yeah, it made me so happy because they are some of my best friends. And it just got me so excited to see them there because I know that they were really rooting for us. And I really thought about my freshman year when I played with Kati, and I thought, oh, this game's for her. Like, we're doing this for her. And for that whole senior class and for all the people that we played with before, because we really are a sisterhood here.
Malia?
Yeah, it just shows the family culture that we have at Arizona and how, like, even after you're done and you're an alum, you always come back and you root for the team and you root for Coach, and it just shows how special this program is. So it definitely is a family.
Malia, take us through the home run. You know, that was a big swing early in the game. Put your team ahead, and it looked like it was going to stand up throughout the game. But what was that moment like for you?
It was really cool. I mean, yeah, I just always, the mindset for all of us is pass the bat. So I went up there, I wanted to square something up and just get on base so then Peanut behind me can make something happen. And so it was a cool feeling. It's definitely a memory I'll always have.
Yeah, was that a pitch you were looking for? Because you absolutely crushed that ball.
I was just thinking, first good pitch I see, I'm just going to go for it. So, yeah.
Worked out. Any other questions for our student athletes? All right, ladies, that's it. Thank you so much, Raina and Malia. Congratulations. We appreciate your time and everything you've done for softball. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now joined by head coach Mike Candrea. Questions for coach. We'll begin with Sean Fagan.
So, Coach, obviously a tough loss today, but after everything that's happened, if you could just speak to how proud you are, not only of this senior class, which you consider them as a golden standard, but just of your team as a whole, just to how they fought and how they performed throughout the whole year.
Yeah, today's tough, and it always is when you get here and you fall short of your goals, but there's so much for this group to be thankful for, and a lot of it is just their body of work, just getting through this season and protecting the bubble and doing all the little things just to play the game that they love to play. And I'm just very, very proud of them, and proud of them as people. This is a good group of young ladies that have made me proud by the way they represent our program and our university, and I couldn't be prouder of them. And it hurts right now, and it's unfortunately when you get to the World Series, there's a fine line to winning ball games, and we had some opportunities today, we just couldn't finish it. And tip my hat off to Florida State for the job they did, and I think each one of these young ladies will learn from this experience as they move forward. It's not life-threatening. No one died today, but it feels life-threatening when you're going through it. But at the end of the day, I was just proud of the job they did to get us here. And I'll go back to the Super Regional in Arkansas. I think that was one of my highlights, the way they played the game on the road in a tough environment. And we just got here, and we fell short.
Ronald Smith.
This is Ronald E. Smith. Coach, we heard from your seniors saying that they look at you as a father figure and they admire you and love you so much. What does it mean for you to hearing that from not just them, but previous players who have nothing but the admiration for you?
Well, it's a blessing. I mean, not often you get to do something that you love to do and then surround yourself with people that you never want to see leave. Every athlete that I've ever been a part of at Arizona, it's a lifelong relationship, and as a coach, that's what you hope. I hope that I treat them well. I hope I treat them like my daughter, and I hope that I can continue to be a part of their life, because it is all about, when you spend this much time together, it's awfully hard not to be that way. And so, like I told the kids, the one thing that I've realized in my career, it's you're really only the gatekeeper at the end of the day. And I just hope that this program is stable, and I've tried to do the right things the right way. And I hope that it has an impact and influence on the kids that I coach, because I think the one thing that I take very seriously is being a mentor and being a role model. And I always tell them everything that I do, I always think about how it's going to affect them for all these years. So I'm honored and blessed that I've been able to coach so many great young women.
Coach, let's say, you fall behind 3-2,
Yeah.
a dramatic 3-run homer, which is just a kick to the
was a tough
stomach,
one.
and your kids just rebounded immediately. How proud were you, and what does that say about your team?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I mean, I like I told them, I can look each one of them in the mirror and love what I see. They've I've asked them to do two things this year, and that's to compete and to have fun. And I think they've done that. You know, they've been fun to be around, great teammates, great team chemistry. You look forward to coming to practice every day because of the type of people they are. It's tough because things, you know, we have to stay away from the crooked number, and it wasn't the home run that got me as much as it is the two walks before that. And when you get to this level, you just you can't afford to give people unforced bases. And I feel bad for Mariah, but Mariah has been through so much and has done such a wonderful job. You know, you can't get mad at that. I mean, those kids, to go out there and compete and put on that uniform is not easy. And I think a lot of people in social media and a lot of people in the stands can probably look at the game and go, God, why aren't they hitting? Well, I don't think many of them have been in the batter's box when someone's throwing 70 miles an hour and the ball's moving. So I admire these kids for what they do. I think they're tremendous athletes, powerful young ladies. They will all be successful in life because of their foundation that they've gotten from playing this game. And, they've made our program better. And to me, I think that's the one thing that I've always wanted to do is try to make the program better every year. And I think this group definitely took a step in the right direction.
Graham Hayes.
Mike, I know you're aware there's a lot of talk out there. Will you be the Arizona softball coach next year, and what will go into that decision, or what has gone into that decision?
Yeah, Graham, I usually at the end of every year, once you get to my age, you kind of evaluate life and things, and the only thing I can tell you is when that day comes, I will do it on my own terms and make that decision. But right now, I'm not in any position. Right now, I feel bad for these kids, and we've just busted our butts to try to keep playing, and so I will let it all absorb and go from there.
PJ Brown.
Hi, Coach. What did it mean to you today to have so many of your former players sitting behind the dugout, not even just sitting, but standing the entire game, every pitch, cheering you on?
Well, I can't express it in words. It's it means a lot. It means a lot to these kids that are playing, and it means a lot to me. The one thing that I can tell you right now is I'm very, very proud of the tradition that has been built at Arizona. And the one thing I've always wanted to do is make it a family. I try to treat it like a family. And when I see all of them, that's our family. And I kind of look at that as, they're here because they want to help this group. And many of them that are in the stands have had this experience. And, many of them walked out of here with a great feeling and a national championship, and some haven't. But on the other hand, I think one of my proudest moments at Arizona is our alumni, is being in touch with each and every one of them as much as I can. And the only thing that I can tell you that I try to do every day is I've got in my planner, I've got a list of birthdays, and I try not to miss a birthday of any kid that's played for me. And I take that very seriously. And so I hope that connection is what kind of allows moments like this to happen. But they're very proud of their time at Arizona, I hope, and feel that they do. And I think it just makes a huge impact with the kids today, because many of those kids are the kids that they looked up to when they started playing the game. They were the role models. And so when they're sitting in the stands cheering for you, it's pretty uplifting.
Sean Fagan.
So, Coach, how honoring is it to know that so many hold you at such a high level, to not only just in college softball, but just all over the world, knowing that you've made such an impact in so many people's lives that many of you even haven't met?
Yeah. Well, I'm honored. I mean, it's when I took the job, I mean, I got talked into going into women's softball. I mean, my career path was baseball, and so I got to thank George Young for talking me into doing it, because I fell in love with it. And so the one thing that I've always wanted to do when I got into the sport was to help grow the sport and help pass along information. And I think, to me, that's part of the job. You know, as that gatekeeper of the sport, your job is to mentor other coaches, and whether they're travel ball coaches or whether they're college coaches or whether they're parents that want a little piece of information or advice. And I've taken that very seriously. I've been very blessed to be a part of, USA Softball and being able to use that platform to reach out to people. And I was probably one of the first that thought it was kind of cool to do a video. And I look at those now, and there's a lot of bad information in them, but they were fun to do at the time. You thought it was the best that you had. And I think today is the big reason why these kids are so good, is because of the power of information that's out there. There's a lot of good information, and many of these kids are growing up getting good information and developing their skills the right way. And I think that's what's helped our game grow. So I think if you ask anyone that has ever emailed me or called me, that I will always make sure that I take the time to talk to them, no matter who they are. Some of the people I don't even know, but if they want my opinion on something, I will give it to them. And so I've tried to be, people always ask about my philosophy, and the one thing I wanted to be is consistent person, no matter what, no matter where, win, lose, or draw. I wanted to be competent. I've always been a student of the game. I loved the bat and ball game, and when I was playing baseball, I was probably good because of my hard work and my knowledge of the game and my thirst of knowledge. And then when I got into coaching, I surrounded myself as much as I can with people that I could learn from. And so I've always had an open mind. And I think the third thing is I always cared about people, and caring to me is pretty important. I want every kid to have a great experience. It's going to get awfully tough as we look forward into college athletics, and some things that scare me right now. I mean, the transfer portal can be a real blow up, and so I've got a strong commitment to the University of Arizona. That's why I've been there for so long, and I would hope when someone signs a letter of intent that they have that same strong commitment. But unfortunately, sometimes it's easy to get out of commitments today, and I just hope it doesn't ruin our game, because it looks a little bit like free agency to me.
All right, last one for Coach Andrea Adelson.
Coach, since it feels like we've gone down memory lane a little bit with so many of your former players being here, your 94 team is regarded as among the best, if not the best of all time. What is it about that group that has stood the test of time, do you feel like?
God, I go back and my memory is not that good, Someone always asks, why don't you write a book? I go, I can't remember 90% of what I've done. Kind of live in the moment and forget about the past and don't worry about the future. But that 94 team was very talented. I mean, 1 through 9, very good athletes that loved to play the game, that they had great chemistry. We had very good pitching, played good defense, and we hit. And the thing is when you get to Oklahoma City, sometimes you never know how that's going to be. And that team caught on fire here and hit the hell of the ball, if I recall. But every team that I have, win, lose, or draw, I mean, there's always something you can draw from them, and they're all special because of the people. I look at Hillenbrand Stadium, and I look on the wall, and there's been 105 All-Americans. So if I'm an outsider walking in there, I'm thinking, well, shit, he should be able to coach if he's got 105 All-Americans. So that's where it starts. The athletes, it's what it's all about. They do the job, and they're between the lines. And I've been blessed to be able to be around some really tremendous athletes and some great performances.
Coach Candrea, thank you so much. I
Yep.
just want to take a moment to say, whatever you decide, it's been an honor. Thank you for everything you've done for the University of Arizona, for USA softball, and the game of softball in general.
Well, thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Coach.
Thank you.